and welcome to Building Talk, the podcast for the resident manager, general manager, property manager, and all building service employee professionals.
Yes.
How are you, Frank?
I'm good. How are you?
Bo. Supposed to say so.
And this is Bo.
Thank you. We did not know that. Next time we're going to put our names on the shirts.
We don't want to do that.
You had a good day?
But I tattooed. I got a tattoo with my name with
You got another one?
No.
Oh, I'm like, is that room?
17 of them is fine.
17.
Yes, 17 is good.
Last time I saw you, you had 15.
Well, I added 2 more.
What the hell are you? What?
I can't show you. Those are my
No. But anyway, Frank, we're not going to talk about tattoos or anything else.
Or your haircut.
Or your hair.
$45 for a haircut. Who pays $45 for that?
$56 plus tax.
56.
And a hell of a tip.
They saw you coming.
Yes. Tanya, I love you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Your wife's going to
we are here today with another great show.
Absolutely.
With a hell of
This
a
is a
lot of
great show.
information.
Yep.
And let me tell you something. I'm going to introduce these two people. We just had dinner because they brought over
Phenomenal dinner. Oh,
phenomenal dinner. Thank
That
you.
potato salad
Thank
was
you
perfect.
very
Thank you.
much.
Oh my God,
I had
that
to
was so
say
good.
that.
Oh.
And in the tradition that is always for Building Talk,
What?
they thought there was going to be 45 people here, but
That's true, that's true.
they brought
Yeah,
food
they
for 45 people.
At least. I thought you
And
said.
we ate half.
Yeah.
So anyway, I have Ohavia, Feldman, and Rivka, Leyton. Oh my God, I got through that.
That was amazing.
That was.
Beautiful.
We could stop here.
There you go.
From VentRight.
Nice.
Now, Ohavia, what the hell is VentRight?
So that's a great question.
See, I knew it.
Now you
Score
see,
one
he's
for
not
me.
going to fit through the door.
I don't know. I will Google it for you real quick. It is at VentRight we do air duct cleaning. That is a quick summary of what we do.
Mhm.
A lot of things fall under that rubric. There's dryer vents. There's HVAC ducts. There's split units. There's bathroom fans. There's cassettes. There's name a few others.
All rooftop units as well.
Yeah,
and
that's-
all
that's a
building
very
shafts
good
and
one, yeah.
shafts,
So,
Utility sets, right?
so basically, if you got a duct, he cleans it.
Well, and you install too. You guys do installation too, or is it just?
We just do cleaning. Cleaning is a
Right.
specialty for it. Most places that do installation don't do cleaning. The amount of equipment
Ah.
is specialized, like everything else we do.
Mhm.
And ultimately, since we specialize, we'd like to stay in our lane.
Ah,
yeah.
and
We offer maintenance contracts. So we do an inspection at the beginning, and then
Mhm.
based on the usage and the state of the ducts, we offer quarterly, biannual, or annual service based
Wow.
on the building usage.
now, I think one of the most important things that resident managers face is, yes, we all have HVAC units, and we all have, some of us have much more than others, but we all have that famous compactor chute, which people love to throw down anything they can.
Cat litter.
Cat litter. Oh my God.
Mm.
But I'll start off with a little question. We're going to go into your bio or anything else because it's my turn to do that. Now it's springtime, so right away I'm thinking spring cleaning coming up. How often should we do compactor shoots?
It really, really depends on the usage. And I will say that about everything to do with HVAC and dryers. You
Mhm.
can really range anywhere from having to do it once a month to having to do it once a year. It really depends on usage. There are some
Mhm.
HVAC companies that will give you a contract where they come and change your filter every 6 months.
Right.
Now, it really depends on your usage. Some places need, and it calls for, and the code actually calls for, that it gets changed every month or it's quarterly.
Mm.
It really depends. You can't just do a one size fits all. You have to make an assessment. You have to look, and you really have to have some expertise and do an evaluation that makes sense for that property.
I try to do it twice a year. I
Right.
think I have.
That's fairly standard for
Yeah, I
average
have-
size.
Yeah, it also depends. Like healthcare facilities
Right.
require it more due to
Yes.
like safety codes and things like that. So it really depends on the usage of the building itself.
And then after you clean, like for healthcare, you would disinfect it.
Yeah,
we
and-
disinfect regardless. Even on a
Regardless.
building like this,
Okay.
it's part of the service for HVAC
Gotta be
and for
disinfected.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frank's bugs, man. They find it. They don't
Yeah,
care.
yeah.
They're gonna.
We
be
would have
around
to
for
charge
the-
you extra.
So,
They come with the little
Pesticide
bucket.
resistant bugs are not something we normally specialize in.
oh my God, you and your bugs, you bastard! You. Now, Javier, how did you get started in this? What is?
It's all your
how did
wife's
you get
fault.
started with
Yeah.
that? Right? See,
It is totally my wife's fault.
there you go, gentlemen. Happy wife.
My wife I like to say that. My wife. So one day there was a fire at one of our friends' houses because the dryer vent was clogged.
Oh yeah.
So my wife quickly sprang into action and told me to open up a company that cleans dryer vents because the entire neighborhood promptly called anybody who advertised that they do dryer vents, which is really how we got started. And we realized that there was no standard. There was people that were not insured. They were local handymen. They worked out of their truck. They were fly by night. And their prices range anywhere from $75 to clean a vent all the way to $400. And to me, that did not make sense. I've experience in the service industry, and there should be some standard unit of measure on what would be an appropriate price range. So we started looking into the industry, and we realized it was very underrepresented. Now, while we do a lot of other events, dryer events are how we got started, and it's actually a great example of lack of knowledge in the industry. Every dryer manufacturer has in huge letters, and the United States Fire Administration tells you that you must clean your dryer vent every year. Now, that's probably shocking to most of you. It was shocking to us. And in fact, it's shocking to everybody that I spoke to, except for the OCD people that read manuals cover to cover. So nobody knew that.
That's not us.
That's not me either.
We have very little people that actually call because they know. Most people call because there's a problem and it's already very late in the process, and then we educate them. And then next year, we remind them. We have a lot of automated systems, and we make sure to remind our customers 10, 11 months, like, hey, you're coming up due for service. Let's come back out.
Preventative maintenance is one of those things that people don't start doing until it costs them more than it would have cost them to do. So we started pushing and advertising the concept of dryer vent cleaning to our close friends and asking what they thought about it. And we got a lot of data from people who just said, yeah, I know I need to get it done now, but I don't know how much it should cost. So we spent literally about 2 years researching the entire industry of vent cleaning, finding out which equipment to use, which actually works. We went down to different states, so we weren't in competition. We spoke to other companies that did it well and did it right, because what we found was there's people who were doing it with anything from just a random leaf blower to something that they picked up in Home Depot, which had a brush that attached to your drill. And it ended up, we ended up realizing that everything, just like in every service industry, if you buy the specialized equipment for it, you get much better results. And while the specialized equipment is expensive, you are able to build a standard of service and a standard of pricing. That's kind of where we built our model on. And anytime we roll out a new service, we follow that exact model.
Wow.
Yeah, we do a lot of research. So you can rest assured that if we offer a service, we know exactly what we're doing.
Right. That is in 2 years.
Yeah, it was a long time because we could not find anybody locally in New York at the time. There's a few franchisees that do it.
Okay. Are dryer vents a standard size?
Yes. Dryer vents are a standard size, but let me give you an example. So dryer vents can be a standard size, and technically a run is not legally to code allowed to be more than 35 feet. So here's where that comes in. Who knows that information? The contractor who's installing the vent? Probably not.
No, probably not.
So you know that it can be 35 feet, but what you may not know is that an elbow is counted as 5 feet. So now you know that you've just lost 5 feet, then 10 feet, then 15 feet. Now, if you put two elbows together, that's actually not the code because it loses all the momentum.
Right.
So all this information you have on this one little utility, this one little service inside your house, this one little appliance, which no one knows about. So the contractors are not installing them. And we have seen, I mean, if you go to Brooklyn, Manhattan, Williamsburg, any of these places where you have old buildings, you'll find vinyl ducting. Vinyl ducting is extremely flammable.
Yes.
And it turns into tissue paper when you jostle it.
I've never seen it. Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember
Maybe
seeing
not.
it.
You have the best buildings ever.
Yeah,
So.
of course. But what we do have as resident managers out there is we have laundry rooms.
Yeah.
You know, most of them, some of the shareholders or unit owners have units inside their apartment, and they're responsible for that. Usually they'll call the handyman and, good luck.
Right, so for the laundry room, we actually work with a lot of companies that do that. You guys get your machines from, like Macro Laundry, like Hercules, like Ace. They will claim that they clean the entire length of the run. And I actually just spoke to someone at Hercules who said, yeah, we clean it to the wall of the laundry room.
Okay.
So if it goes into a building shaft, they don't touch the building shaft.
Which is fine, which is what they made an agreement with you before, but people forget about that part from the wall to outside. Now, is that 2 feet? Is that 10 feet? Is that more than 35 feet? Now, if it's more than 35 feet, you have things like boosters. You have specialized dryers that are meant to force it out.
A lot of times it goes into a building shaft that goes to the roof. Hercules won't go to the roof. So a lot of times we work together with companies like that. And I always tell resident managers, just because you're leasing your machines and they're not yours, it
Mhm.
doesn't mean that the building is not responsible
Right.
to do the cleaning because you want it to be efficient. Your bills are gonna go up, right? Because
Mhm.
the more
Right.
the more it's
Yeah.
clogged, the longer the each load is
Yeah.
gonna take. So yes, your tenants could be putting in a quarter or paying with the credit card, but the bill is still on you.
You know what? You just bring up a question for me, which laundry rooms are always a big pain. And in one place where we have a lint catcher, it's
Sure.
kind of huge. We have to keep adding water to it and make sure it works properly. And I know when I'm outside and I smell just a little bit of hint of gas or something, I'm like, yeah, okay, we need water in there. It's going dry because there's no water, nothing to absorb the odor or the lint. Our guys, our porters are great. They go every day through the laundry room. They'll clean out the lint, filter, but of course they don't go through the chase and they don't go through the vent.
It happens to be a funny no man's land between building managers and utility owners, right? So utility owners, whether that's the owner of the machines for the laundry room or whether that's an
Mhm.
apartment.
Mhm.
So the tenant owns the unit. Perhaps they actually own the machine. So that goes to the wall. But they would never think that anything beyond the wall that has to do with the building would have anything to do with them. Meanwhile, the building manager would be like, it's your dryer. Why would I touch anything that has to do with your dryer?
Right.
So we've come across a lot of buildings where they don't know the law. That happens to also be, by the way, for HVAC. A lot of people who own buildings don't know that or they're leasing rather, they don't know that they're responsible to change the filters on the large HVAC unit that's on the rooftop. So they never change it, they never maintain it, they never clean it, and then something will happen to it, and they have a $30,000 unit that they just broke because 4 years they never changed the filter.
Resident
It happens
managers.
all the time.
No way.
4 years. Never
Not the
changed.
ones that do business with us. But
Obviously.
it's crazy. People really like. I just went to a building that one of these laundry leasing companies, and they said, "Yeah, we come every year. I don't know why you're coming." I was like, "Whatever. We don't charge to come out, So let me come out." There was lint all over outside, all over the walls in the laundry room, and I was like, "I don't know what you did," and I didn't even charge them. I sent the pictures to the building manager, and I said, "Get them to come back. I'm not charging you for a service you could get for free." So part of what we do is we help the resident managers actually work well with their leasing company.
Yeah.
If there's any services they could get directly from the leasing company, I bounce it back to them. We don't take money that doesn't belong to us.
A quick pro tip: if your dryer is a little bit hotter than normal, or there is lint along the sides of it, that means you are not exhausting all your lint, which means there's a clog. Now, if a clog happens long enough, it'll back up and actually clog up the motor of the machine, which means you have to get the machine repaired. We don't actually touch the machines, like I said, we specialize. So we get people who call us and say, "Can you come clean the vent?" We clean the vent, and their machine's still not working well because they've already passed the point of failure.
And that motor is going to go kaput.
That's that.
Huh. Interesting.
That's seriously
I'm
sort
still
of
stuck
like
on the guys that are not changing filters up on the roof.
Yeah.
Well, people who lease buildings don't know, and a lot of these smaller properties just don't have a manager that even recognizes that there's an HVAC unit that exists.
Or they don't care.
We have hallway vents. We have everything.
Yeah.
All the roof. Those have been. We just put new ones up on the roof or anything. But even in a place like this is our community room, and we do have a couple of units, split units. Yeah, these are changed every 3 months.
Right.
And I do have a contract for them, and I don't have many or huge HVAC units, but
It has to be on your radar.
yeah, there's 3 elevator motor rooms that have to be maintained, and I
Mhm.
have to have cool air at all times.
Exactly.
July better be running, but but and they'll come around, they'll change them, we'll check them ourselves. And I mean that is just simple preventive maintenance, and that should be on your schedule monthly. To be checking out all these units. I know we're lackadaisical with laundry rooms because I'm like, yeah, they got it. They take care of it. They'll do it. Yeah, I was just the other day, last month. I was like, I haven't seen these guys who clean the vents yet. I know our guys do it, so they pick it up. But where the vent exhaust is, and I'll show you, it's right outside the room, there's a lot of lint coming out.
It's another good indicator that it's starting to back up.
Yeah. So
It's like an artery.
Yeah, if the cover is full of lint, there's probably lint in the vent that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
So people will tell us that, I haven't cleaned the vent in 2 years, I haven't had an issue. And I try to explain to them, it's kind of like your arteries. They're fine. And as soon as there's any buildup that starts, it gets really bad really quick. So even though a thin layer of lint building up because it no longer has the velocity to push it out because it's slowly building up a microscopic level of lint on the sides, eventually that gets faster and faster and faster until you've got a complete clog, backs up into the machine. You could have saved yourself a bundle, and it's dangerous.
That's like your heart, your putts.
I know.
Yeah, how many stents
I
you have now?
gotta call them to come and
I'm
clean my
telling
arteries.
We don't
really
clean
should.
stents anymore after that one mistake.
What are you up to now? 6, 7?
4. Take it
Okay. Scare me like that. Anyway. So did you really feel that, it took you 2 years to come to market and start, but you really felt that there was a need?
So we started our research at the beginning and we saw that it was very underrepresented. There was a massive need. The reason why it took us so long is we were trying out different pieces of equipment to find out exactly what made the most sense for residential and commercial. We realized that there was a gap in both of them.
Right.
And we started with our friends and our family. We went down to training at multiple different training facilities that actually teach you how to do it with their equipment to see which one was the best. There was just so few standards in place.
Right.
And even the companies that said that they had standards, when we went to go follow them, they were completely opposite with other standards, or they weren't recognizing the fact that New York is totally different.
Oh,
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
If you do
Bingo.
HVAC cleaning in the Midwest, their standard for return is like 7 or 8 feet. That's the max that you can do. It's very, very short. And that means that the unit is very close by to the air intake, which is phenomenal, right? The units are all very, very, very.
Would be nice. But
Right.
it's
It
not
would be
like
very
that in
nice.
New York.
Or most of the houses there are ranches, right?
Oh,
So there's
okay.
not
Right.
many places for the vents to go. It's all
Yeah.
on one floor. You're going to figure it out. You come to New York, try to figure out on a 3-story house or an apartment complex that was made 30 years ago where the
Sure.
vents are coming and
Where they're
going,
coming.
which are attached to which thermostat. It turns into a really exciting project.
That's
The
so
other
true.
thing we saw was when we started with the commercial space, all the resident managers I spoke to said, I call someone, they come for a quote, they don't send me the proposal, or they come once and they don't follow up with me a quarter, like the next quarter.
Oh, yeah.
So we said, I want to be different in terms of the customer experience. We're not just a service, so we're available. I'm available on my cell phone. All the resident managers have my cell phone because if there's an emergency or if you have a question, you should be able to reach your providers. And because of our automated, systems, they get a reminder quarterly, and then we schedule them automatically via text. There's a really little, interaction. If they don't want to interact, they call and keep us on the phone for an hour if they want to. But we definitely are easy to reach, and we focus on the customer having a good experience from beginning to end.
Listen, I don't think she's gonna be on the phone for an hour with somebody. I don't know. I definitely think I was like, shut up. But I might be wrong.
Depends.
No.
If they yell at me, I might.
Right.
She means like it's an hour of regular person speed time.
Ah.
She speaks so fast that she
Yeah,
gets
she
it all
does.
in like 4 minutes.
There you go.
Who have you found as your main customer?
So
It's
for
definitely
residential
yeah.
and commercial, we have two different. For residential, we want someone who takes care of their property, who cares for their house, who does change their filters, or at least knows that the filters need to be changed, because those are the people that are aware and comfortable spending the money.
Right.
Right. There's always that person who wants to spend $50 on a service because the dryer is not working.
Mhm.
That's not our customer, because they don't care for the level of service. They care for something to be fixed quickly.
Quickly, okay, that's
So
it.
that's for
my
residential.
friend had I think when he in his other shop he years ago he had a sign over his desk which said quality, reliability, or cost, pick any two.
Oh, that's true.
Right, you can't have all
Yeah.
that. We're looking for people who recognize that the quality that we're going to bring to the table is not. We're not looking to be the cheapest,
Right.
and you don't want us to be. And we have a huge sign in our office. We have our standards. You wouldn't want us. We're not going to change our standards for you, and you wouldn't want us to, because they're there for a reason.
So, and for commercial, really anybody who has any HVAC vents, any laundry room, any air ducts that need maintenance and cleaning, which is almost every building in this city.
Right,
So
right.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
yes.
Absolutely.
Everywhere we have to be. We have to be cool, calm, and our clothes have to be dry.
Yeah, we got it. Right. But you know what? I've heard it, and I don't think it, but I like it. People in Ireland, right? They don't dry their clothes all the way, right? Don't they let their dryers dry a little bit, but they take out their clothes and it's kind of moist.
A lot of places and a lot of
Right.
people will do that, especially not New York,
Right.
where there's plenty of space. You hang it outside.
And I hang
It's
out.
true.
Yeah, it's.
Well, depends
true.
what. Sometimes like
Yeah,
no,
I
and then
got some tidbits.
Okay.
he got prepared before.
But we're in New
Okay.
York. No, I'm kidding.
But in New York, forget it. They want.
Listen.
You know why? Because I've
I
got
got you.
European people in my apartments and
Yes.
buildings where they, you see the pulling out, and I'm like, it's still no, it's totally fine. It's for yeah.
And they hang it up.
Right. So the reason why they do that is, and I think you're about to say that, is that it actually it'll straighten out some of the wrinkles if you pull it out a little bit moist, because it has some weight to it. So it'll actually do that. If you're not. about
We
to say that, I
Americans
totally
could just
understand.
iron our clothes.
I swear to God, I don't know. But I do remember as a kid, grew up, you never wash it, dryer.
Yeah, rocks.
Yeah.
Rock.
Well, that was in the old country. But no, I'm totally serious.
No, I
I
know.
told you that.
I know.
Okay, yeah. My mother had a little brook over there,
Yeah,
and she would go
I know.
hammer on the rock, soap and brush.
With
and
the board and
oh,
everything.
with the
Oh, yeah,
everything,
yeah, yeah.
everything,
Someone is
everything.
aging himself.
Yeah, just a little. But
30
but
years
then we
ago, you
came
remember all
here.
that? That's amazing.
Yeah, but then we came here. She would do it by hand or whatever she would do, and I would be the one on the clothesline with the clips. Yeah,
We all
there you
did.
go.
We'd be on the clothes. I know.
You're talking a lot about customer service, and really, that's what you're telling us is like, hey,
Mhm.
this is why we want to be the best. This is why we have repeat business. But besides some of this stuff and Rivka yelling at people, how is your customer service?
So I will tell you that one of the things we invested in early on is a tremendous focus on systems that provide customer service, in addition to actually every aspect of our business, from answering the phone to the message they get, to the email notifications that they get, to how they receive it, how often they receive it, is geared towards customer service. What that means is what the customer actually wants to experience. And we actually walk through it ourselves. What does the customer see? What is their actual interactions? Aside from the fact that they know that for a commercial client, you can pick up the phone, you can call, you can reach Rivka, you can reach myself, you can reach any of the people who were the initial people you met and spoke to about your building. But for the residential side, you need a little bit of a different service. You need to be able to reach someone who's in dispatch. You need to be able to book an appointment online quickly. Right. You need to be able to have instant booking, somewhat instant gratification. It needs to be simpler. There's smaller services.
Right.
They're not as complex. They don't always require a walkthrough.
Right.
So we've really worked hard to develop and work with amazing software. So for our customers, there is an instant booking option that actually goes into our schedule. When they actually book, they get a notification that they are confirmed, that they are booked. They have a time window. Wow. When the technician dispatches, they get a notification that the technician is on the way, and they get a tracking widget, just like Uber or Uber Eats. You can watch where the technician is on the map, on the road, and you'll see if they hit traffic and how they're doing. When the customer gets there, you get a notification that they arrived. When they're doing the service, there are pictures that are put into a form. Everything is documented from A to Z, so that it's peace of mind for the customer. Right. It's tremendous peace of mind for ourselves, and it allows us to isolate any issues that we might have with a specific location.
Sure.
Because you might have to go back, but what if the technician that you're sending back is not the one that was there before? Right. So you're going to lose a tremendous amount of time by trying to get the right technician down. He's there yesterday. That guy's now in Yonkers. This guy's in Manhattan. How can that guy provide excellent service at a location that he wasn't at yesterday or the day before, the week before? So now we have all this documentation. Every job has a form that they have to fill out. It has a protocol. It has a flow for residential work. It's different. For commercial, it's different. We work through every single thing. For a utility set, the pictures that they need to take and the documentation that they need to get is different than a dryer that needs feedback and anemometer reading to show that there's sufficient airflow after our cleaning and before our cleaning.
I mean, and that also helps out with insurance policies too, no? Because now you're showing, hey, every year, they're
so we provide letters as well for tenants and for resident managers, showing what was cleaned and with pictures.
He's got an app for that.
You just said that.
He's got an app for that?
We've always got an app for that.
He's always got an app for that.
Yeah.
It's like Uber. I watch my driver.
And you wonder if he's eating your fries.
No. Just before he gets to my block, whoop, I lose him. Now I get knocked up in the Bronx coming down.
Oh, he's at the bar.
Oh, he's at the bar. I'm telling you, man.
Do you remember the olden days where you have to order a package and wonder
Right.
What
One-
happened?
Right.
Yes.
Right. When is it coming?
When is
and,
it
then,
coming?
and then you show up and there'd be a box on your front door. You're like, oh my gosh.
I like that. I mean,
There's some mystery in life.
you know, the poor drivers. I feel bad for them. I was like,
It's so true. It's
you
so-
can't stop
it's so
off
true.
and have
The
a
thing
smoke.
that you ordered yesterday is
Yes.
right here on your porch right now.
Yeah,
there you
Oh,
go.
Yeah.
It's not even exciting.
So let's talk a little bit about your employees.
Sure.
You got a few of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got a few trucks.
Yeah.
Your trucks are loaded.
Yeah.
They're full
Yes,
of equipment.
Yeah.
Right. The drivers are loaded. I mean, the drivers.
That's their goal. That's our goal
That's
too.
their
with money, not
How many trucks are you guys currently on the road?
We're running usually 2 to 3 now,
Mhm.
unless there's a larger project, and we
Okay.
can always bring on more. It's really seems to be sufficient for this area for the amount that we kind of book out in advance.
Okay.
Really, if we have a lot of surveys for buildings, it's usually going to be one of the managers going in anyway. It's not always
Right.
necessary to bring a truck. It really depends on what it is. But our goal is to have in every vehicle the correct equipment for the correct job. Like I said, we
Yeah.
specialize. So for a large HVAC unit, we have
Mhm.
different machines than a small apartment unit. You're going to have an electric compressor instead of the gas-powered compressor because you can't get the gas-powered compressor up 4 flights of stairs onto a roof.
We try.
We not for lack of trying. It is true, and a summons from the city. But honestly, everything we do has a specialty piece of equipment. We when we worked on rolling out cleaning for split units,
Mhm.
we looked at all the different machines, and there's some. You can go to Home Depot. You can buy a kit. You can buy this kit
Right.
for $40, a kit for $70, a kit for $90, a kit for $300. You can buy a compressor. And we looked and looked and looked, and we finally settled on a place, literally out of Australia, that made the best system that was all encompassing, and we it was a really nice investment for us, but it was worth it simply because they had tremendous standards in their equipment. It was repeatable, it's scalable, and they really had figured their stuff out.
They provide training when you
Right.
purchase their machines. They're there for you for service. It's a great product.
Nice.
And you said Australia sucks.
Nice.
But no, he might be right.
It might be right. How about that? You go the machine
machines, the
Australia. I mean, dude. Okay, I get it. Maybe I was thinking, all right, you're not going to do China. Maybe we do Taiwan or Japan.
No, I had to go to the place with the most poisonous spiders, snakes,
There you go.
iguanas, and scorpions. Yeah, sorry.
Frank's apartment.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Never mind.
You know. I get nervous.
So yeah, sure you do. Sure you do. Sure you do.
Hold on.
You got the equipment. You got the truck.
We got the training.
You got Joe or whatever his name is.
Okay,
Harry.
so-
Jay, almost.
You-
His name
it's
is Jay.
close.
Jay.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
actually have a Jay.
Jay, you know
So-
Jay. We know Jay.
You're wondering about our employees.
Yes.
We have a philosophy about hiring for attitude
Mm.
and aptitude and basically willingness to work hard. That's what we
Yeah.
hire for. Training, we can do.
Right.
If you have a great attitude and you are competent and you're punctual, we can make you a superstar.
And you see, I hear that all the time,
Mhm.
and it's amazing to me. Personally, I don't look for an experienced porter,
That's
you
correct.
know, or a guy
Right,
that had
right,
10
right.
years
Yeah,
or
yeah.
a handyman. We're going to train you. I look at the personality. You know, I look at him, and in the first 10, 15 minutes of an interview, he's faster than I am on that. He can tell you yes and no.
Mhm.
You know, yes,
Yeah.
okay. There's a few maybes, but do you want to take the chance on it?
Right.
Interviewing people is one
Yeah.
of those life skills that are really
Yes.
hard to learn. And once
Yeah.
you learn it, it changes
Oh,
your life
Absolutely.
significantly. Yeah.
It's
Sure.
so much easier now than when I started or when he started.
The amount of
Oh, of
mistakes.
course.
Yeah.
Well, because
Oh.
today, you know, and I may be generalizing, but today when you interview someone, and I've had it where, what am I going to make? I work from when to when. You know, it's those things that not like you were
Right.
saying.
Long order
is-
of that question.
Exactly. You know, where it's not, you know, hey, I take pride in my work and this, I want to do
Mhm.
this and I want to progress and I want to teach and I want to, not what are you going to do for me?
No,
You
so we hire for attitude, and they're part of a team. They work with each other.
Mhm.
No one wants to let anybody down. So if
Right,
there's something that's needs to be stayed late or taken care of after hours, we're there for each other.
Mhm.
So
Everybody sees everybody else working hard and pushing. And I think
Yeah.
that helps the culture a lot.
yes,
If everybody sees that everyone's putting in 110%,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
feel awkward not putting in 110%.
Oh yeah, seriously, I would be embarrassed. Like,
Right. So
Yeah.
you want
And
to
we
make
take
sure
care
you're
of
just,
them.
you're just not for the job, and that's okay too.
yeah, we have
Sure.
a positive work environment. it's happens to be, I think, a great place to work.
There you go.
If I do say so myself.
If he says so himself.
Right.
Ohavia does make it really fun to work there.
Yeah, but you need that. It can't be always, you're just punching in the clock and that.
No, yeah, it's not like that.
Right.
So how much training do they go to before you put them out there?
So we actually scale them up. It depends on the service.
Okay.
There's so many different components that we have. So we kind of have an academy, and they know we actually meet with every single technician once a week, which is something I cannot recommend strongly enough. If you have employees, you ever give them a 5-10 minute meeting every single week at a set time. It's a phenomenal life hack for isolating problems and finding out issues in the field before they become issues.
Even
and
not in the
create
field.
that
I meet with my office employees as well every week.
Yeah.
Once a week.
So we discovered that
everything.
that's a phenomenal piece that we picked up a while ago, and it's literally changed our lives, and our technicians love it because they have a set time where they can speak to the boss about anything. They see there's a better way to do something, there's a problem with something that doesn't work well. If it's not an emergency, obviously if it's an emergency, you troubleshoot the day of. But if they have an idea, they can give us that feedback. So we give them their one-on-one. They really have an opportunity to, bring forward feedback that improves every aspect of their service, of the service from their angle and from our angle, from the customer experience on down.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent way to train them. So do the guy, or I'm sorry, I'm sure they're mostly men, correct?
In the field, yes. In the field, yes. We had someone for a while.
Listen, I love it. I don't care.
If you're watching this and you'd like a job as a female technician,
go.
please come on down. Training is provided, but you were asking about the
Frank,
academy.
you're
I'm sorry.
working. What are you doing? I'm a
You already have a job.
Oh, I thought you're looking for work.
As pretty as you are.
So
I can tell you. So we have this academy. We basically break down our services into services, and the goal is for you to try to learn each service in sequence. So we know we're going to start you off on dryer events. So you're going to learn with this guy. He's going to teach you dryer events. And the goal is, and he knows, and the trainer knows, that for the next 2 weeks, your job is to let him be there, to stand behind him, to lead from behind, to let him make mistakes while you're watching so that you can repair them right there on the spot. And we go through that entire exhaustive process with every single service that we have. No one is allowed to do a service until they basically graduated from that service with honors.
Nice. And I know I heard you before that you do hold these meetings. They can speak to the boss. Have any one of them come up to you and said they're really scared to speak to the boss? Or
I'm not that scary.
no?
I'm a little loud.
Just a little loud. Okay.
I tell them on the first day of the job that if they think I'm yelling, I'm really not yelling, and I mean well.
She's just thinking
I
out
really
loud.
I
Really
just
loud.
tell them. So yeah, we take care of them.
No, so it happens to be that Rivka works at a different speed. She is 100% efficient, and all the technicians know that she has their back. So no matter what her attitude is, it also works for them. If a customer calls and says, your technician was absolutely horrible and they were a jerk. Now, that age-old saying that the customer is always right, they always miss the second half of that in taste and style, in matters of taste and style. The customer is not always right. You don't get to decide my pricing or what service I do.
I
or the
always
pricing.
stand behind the technicians. I always say, my technicians are very well trained and they mean well and they have no reason to really do anything wrong. Let me talk to them and get back to you. So they know
And if
that
they say they did
I
wrong,
could
say,
be a
listen,
little
it
short.
doesn't sound right. I don't, I really have to get back to you. I know, Stephen, I know Jay, I know Freddie.
Yeah.
That's not something that they would do. Let me find out what happened. No, it's not. Let me find out what happened. My technicians are phenomenal. They're the best. I know I've worked with them for a long time. They're great people. Let me find out what happened. You seem upset. Let's fix this.
And most of the times there's another side of the story.
It happened to me many years ago where a gentleman, he had broken something and he goes, and I go, how did this break? He goes, oh, Ronnie, Ronnie did it. I go, Ronnie? Yeah. I go, my Ronnie. Yeah. You talk about my Ronnie came here and did this. No, he did. I go, Ronnie wouldn't do this because your guy.
Yes.
So, and finally his wife came over and goes, Ronnie didn't do it. He was just embarrassed to tell you that he was trying to fix something and he broke. I go, that's all you had to say. You broke it.
By the way, that's the other piece. If you give your team an opportunity, sounds like if you give your team an opportunity to talk to you, and we kind of have a culture. If you make a mistake, the mistake is that moment. Not telling us about it is no longer a mistake.
Exactly.
So I want your mistake to stay a mistake.
Exactly.
We call it a flat tire, right? A flat tire is not avoidable. Didn't see it. It's a flat tire. It's an accident.
Right.
Not telling the team about it and causing havoc later on. The next technician that goes there looks like an idiot to customer
correct.
making a mistake. No, we can't have that.
Yeah.
We need to work
Yeah.
as a solid unit, which we do.
We had someone once fall through the ceiling in someone's house
Oh.
because they were, in an attic
Oh, yeah.
trying to get to a vent. And whoever built the house clearly didn't build it very well because there was like a quarter-inch sheetrock in the ceiling.
Roof studs, the truss wasn't connected.
Right, they probably weren't
Oh.
connected, right?
It was,
He just went
he
through.
literally fell through the ceiling and he called us, he's like, I fell. I'm like, are you okay? He's like, through the ceiling. I'm like,
Don't pause there. That's not the place for a comma.
Right? I fell.
And
You all right?
we had to figure out how to tell the customer.
Right.
But
Good news, bad news.
Yeah, your house is gonna fall apart.
We're halfway done installing your skylight.
Yeah,
My skylight? You did not order a skylight?
Right, yeah.
Okay, then this
Well,
is just
you
a
did,
terrible
yeah.
misunderstanding. I'm so sorry.
But we
Wow,
definitely,
I
we had
love
our
that.
handyman do a better job than it was there before. But
Yeah.
Yeah, they got their whole ceiling painted and they were
Yeah.
very happy.
Right.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Customer service. We stand by our service. We stand by our mistakes. There's no company in the world that doesn't make mistakes, which
Yep.
is what I tell
Right.
people the difference between a company like ours and anyone else's. We will always stand behind our work, whatever that means. We are there
Yeah.
for the long haul. We're here for the long relationship. We're going to make sure that you have a phenomenal experience. If something goes wrong, we would love the opportunity to fix it.
Mhm.
Customers remember you for two things: when you screw up, or when you screw up and fix it.
Yes. And yeah, how you fix it. And you're covered, right? You
Yes.
you handle.
We're covered, and we have umbrella
insurance.
policies on top of umbrella policies
yes, and all of our technicians are,
because some buildings require it.
Yeah.
Sure.
and they're certified by the CSIA, which is the Chimney and
Chimney Institute,
Yeah.
Chimney
It's
Safety
cha-
Institute of America.
Get out of here.
It's a longer
There is
acronym
one?
than I can remember. There actually is one, yeah.
Why am I
Yeah.
surprised? There should be one.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
Every
so
freaking
there-
house.
Someone needs to be a
everybody
There's
has
bunch
all
of
one.
the-
someone needs to have families.
Yeah.
so there's all the codes for
Mhm.
for cleaning and installing dryer vents
Wow.
and cleaning like all
That's
other
part of our
types
academy.
shoots.
Yeah.
Did you
So-
pass CSIA?
And you guys also do fireplaces too? I don't remember. If you
We
said
don't
that.
do
You
fireplaces
fire-
yet. One day, it's one of the things we have. We have a list of things we want to roll out for 2025.
Because that's very important. A lot of people don't
2026.
realize. Yeah.
So the
Stick
the
that log
challenge
in
with the challenge with fireplaces and kitchen hoods
Uh-huh.
is that the fire department requires a lot of communication with the fire department when you clean it,
Really?
and then they come down to check it, and if
Really?
it's not good, they make you come back, and you have to have a QR code sticker on every commercial
But
kitchen
that's
hood
through New York State.
through New York City.
City.
Yeah, FDNY.
So we will do it one day when we have the right software and we
but they make
investigate
it
and see the right
really
equipment.
hard to want
See,
to do it.
They just don't want to do it. That's why they come up with these laws.
Yeah, but right.
They don't want you to have a fireplace.
By the way, chimney.
get that.
I'm sorry.
get
Kitchen hoods are one of those interesting ones.
Oh, yeah, that's grease.
Depending on how much traffic you have,
Uh-huh.
you have to get it cleaned more often.
Sure.
So that is one of the things we are scheduled to start. We started looking into it about 6 months ago, so it'll probably take us about at our speed about another year to roll it out with the correct equipment. But that is one of the things we're going to be branching out into when we have the right framework for it.
When you say commercial, do you do restaurants?
So that's meaning for the
That-
air ducts we do it, but
Right.
for the kitchen
Yeah.
hoods, they
That's what
require
you're
yeah.
thinking about. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that
Okay.
that's
Now,
That's
residential.
ANSI or something like that?
Yeah,
Something
something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Residential kitchen hoods is something that we have looked into also, and we will be rolling that out. That actually becomes a little bit more complicated because the chances of something going wrong during cleaning is like having like a 15-year-old car that you put up on the lift for the first time.
Right.
Like, oh, I don't know, the muffler
Yeah,
fell
yeah,
off.
yeah.
Well, that's your fault, Mr. Mechanic.
Yeah, yeah,
You
once
broke
you
it.
touch
Like,
it.
no, your thing's rusted.
Right.
So
Yeah.
old residential kitchen hoods are like this kind of like
Sure.
it's like a grenade. Like you could start cleaning it with the correct products, and then
Yes.
if your guy touches it, and like it's been hanging by a
Yep,
thread
yep,
in the shaft
yep, yep.
for 15 years. So that's one of the things we've been
We're
looking
working
into.
on it.
We're working towards it.
Mhm.
It's one of those things that's going to end up being a little bit expensive. So only the customer that's into preventative maintenance for residential
Mhm.
is probably going to really end up being our customer for that because it's not going to be a cheap service, and we won't make a cheap service. It's not going to be worth it for the customer. For us, we're going to do a thorough
No,
job,
listen.
with quality all the way through.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's going
Right.
to end up being, it's not going to be a $50 service or $100 service. So it has to make sense for all parties.
Yeah, especially commercial or restaurants.
Sure,
you know.
sure.
Commercial
Yeah, so-
restaurants is a no-brainer, and it
It's also a
requires
night
really
service.
specialized equipment, and it's
Yeah.
a night
That's
service.
a night service.
It's a night service. It requires a lot of certifications. So
Wow.
right now we work with someone and we refer, we
Yeah,
refer each other.
the place I own in Bushwick, the restaurant, I had to go send the guy at midnight. I'm like, what are
Yeah.
you doing? Oh, he has to go up. They go up way on the roof at midnight. I said, what are you, out of your mind?
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
what they do.
I'm
You want to see
sure
the insurance
about
for
it,
that, by the way?
Yeah,
That's,
thank you.
that's a lot of fun.
I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? He's on the roof.
At
Yeah,
midnight in the
because
dark.
we close, and he's got, and I think that's the new law that they said they have. There's more frequent
Yeah.
cleanings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now, there's that, for the Ansel systems, there's the
Uh-huh.
stick of the inspections,
Yes.
but the cleanings also.
Yeah. So we actually do after hour work for like
Mhm.
commercial. We had a whole line of beauty salons
Beauty salons,
That
gyms, bakeries,
Yeah.
Beauty salons?
yeah.
because they do a lot of like I guess depends like
On the
hair
chemicals
salons.
you-
Well,
Hair
salons, all the
they
fumes
use
and
that
stuff.
Brazilian
Yes.
thing, the straightener for me, and sometimes, it smokes.
Oh, yeah, you smoke.
That's what happened.
Yeah, that's
How-
exactly what happened.
How many is a Brazilian?
Yeah, right? I mean, look, she's missing all. Yeah. Don't go to the Brazilian.
I go to a salon. You go to Joe's Butcher Shop. I buy barber shop.
He goes with some
This guy
new-
got sharp knives at the butcher.
Yeah.
Sharp knives there. 1, 2, 3. Bing, bing,
Hair.
bang. You,
Frank.
$56 later. 2
Hair.
hours in the.
Frank.
Look at it. Just go like this.
Excuse me.
Okay, you're done eating.
Thank you. This is called hair stylist. Okay? Stylist.
So is this
Ohavia
pen when
knows
you do
all
your
about
thing.
it.
Stylist.
Yeah, it gets a little bit.
You know?
She
That's
only
what the
uses
exact-
scissors.
There you
What
go,
the
there
hell
you
am I
go.
explaining to you
That's
for?
how you know. That's how
Okay?
you know, by the way.
You would put her out of business.
I would.
So,
No, because she could do my back.
Check, please.
yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
I was going to say
Listen,
something else, but
you're-
there's a lady.
you're-
friend.
But you were also mentioning something that we were going to talk. Well, we were going to ask you about, and I see you mentioned it throughout, is using technology.
Yeah.
So now, how has that changed the game for you? I know you can keep an eye on your guys with that. Has the equipment changed?
Yes. Oh
And-
my gosh. We have this
Mhm.
specialized camera because a lot of
Mhm.
customers ask us like, how do you know it's clean?
Right.
How do you know it's dirty and you need to clean it? How do you know nothing is ripped inside the wall? Because a lot of times like
Mhm.
we'll go and there's something I'm not starting to cut the wall to see inside. So we have this camera that attaches to rods and we send that in and it comes back with a video of what the vent looks like.
Right.
Hey, Frank's colonoscopy.
It's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
All right.
I'll do it cheaper.
That's going to be our next service for 2027.
Thank you. He could be.
How many feet? How many feet?
We do need a few neighbors and friends to try it out on first.
Right, right.
We just volunteered. Frank.
Whoa, boy. I don't know how I got volunteered for this. I really am. But you know what? To help
Do you
your
remember-
business grow, I'll do it.
Do you remember Dick Tracy? I don't know if it's
Of course.
Okay, so do you remember Dick Tracy had the watch?
watch.
Of course.
Okay, so
What do we
now,
got?
ironically, it actually became reality.
Yes.
Right? But
But that's
our
what we
camera
had.
is the technician can see
Nice.
the picture on his wrist.
Perfect.
It's
Are you
actually a camera. It's
serious?
Yes, it
phenomenal.
comes
It's
with
really
Wow.
cool.
Oh,
it comes with a watch that
Wow.
Syncs up with the camera.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
wireless.
and then
Oh,
it
and
sends
it's-
it directly to a
Yeah,
computer.
I
It's an
use
office
I use
computer.
cameras here, especially when it's hard to find the leak wherever it is. So
Yeah.
You sure?
it's a very thin, small little.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
ours is different. I know
Yeah.
you're talking about the scope cameras, which
Yeah,
are
the
literally
scopes, yeah.
So ours is different. It's meant to be a ball so that it can actually stay somewhat in the shaft and you can go over bumps and around curves. And it's
Wow.
awesome.
That's great
It's
for
on
his
a
colon.
spring.
Yeah, exactly.
How big is the ball?
Oh,
It's too-
it's okay.
I'm sure we can work it out.
It's okay. What other technology do you use? I cannot believe we got into this, people. What the heck is the matter with me? How do? What else? What other technology?
So I can tell you some
Yeah.
interesting things. So to clean a dryer vent correctly or to clean a air shaft correctly, the volume of air that you need is actually a major factor. So you can get a compressor that will throw out a nice amount of air, but it'll throw it out really fast and it'll feel like a lot of pressure, but there's just not enough volume of air pushing out the dust, pushing out the dirt, or to loosen the debris.
Wait, you don't suck the stuff out?
1 second. So you have to agitate it to suck it out. So we have a massive vacuum that pulls a vacuum on the unit. Yeah, no, it sucks and it blows. It's rough.
He's biting his tongue. Okay, just don't pay any mind to the man.
Anyway,
Don't pay any mind to the guy behind the curtain.
there we go. So ultimately, you have this. You have your choice of compressor. So we invested in our trucks. We have a gas-mounted compressor that can put out the best quality of air, meaning it has a tremendous amount of volume and it has a tremendous amount of velocity, which means you need to get special, air hoses just for that. It's
Oh.
not your standard 1/2 inch. They're bigger. They're 3/8. All your connections have to stay 3/8. It gets very complicated just so you can get the quality to have the correct amount of agitation in your shafts to be able to loosen up enough of the debris so that your commercial vacuum that's on the other end, that's pulling a vacuum on the whole system, can suck it out. So you have one side that's literally sucking. This
Wow.
massive vacuum is sucking on the system,
Right.
and you have another one that's blowing with
Ah.
with whips or agitation, and it's clearing up the system. And yes, it's
Uh,
very hard to say all this with a straight
I'm
face.
stupid. I'm thinking you're using a wet dry hose, just suck everything
Yeah,
out of there,
that's
you know?
It's too short.
No.
So even for our dryer, we
No,
have to
that's-
have
that's amazing.
our dryer has something called the bullet that can travel through the shaft, and it has so much velocity,
Mhm.
it spins by itself, and it keeps itself stationary in the middle of the shaft because there's so much air
Right.
coming out the side that it's literally hovering,
Huh.
and it can
So it's
go
just
up
Pretty
through.
cool.
And while it's
Wow.
going up, it's blowing backwards, and you have a vacuum on the vent, so it's sucking all of it out, which makes it that we don't have an issue that we'll tell you about later. That totally was one of our worst jobs ever, because I feel like that's a
Okay.
great story.
That
Yeah.
Time for
Yeah.
Fuff.
Fuff.
Right.
Oh yeah, you are running late.
It's time for Fuff.
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 Why don't we do that afterwards?
What the fuck
Oh,
is
you wanna
wrong?
do
Just
Fuff?
me and you. Okay.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do Fuff later.
Fuff after the show.
Fuff you.
Fuff you.
Such love.
Fix yourself first. F you.
Oh, I like that.
F.
I like that.
Fix
Fix yourself first.
Nobody's
Very
very
good.
Yeah, so for
That's very
HVAC, we actually also have, we use technology. We had someone recently ask me, like, that mold in the vents, right? So they're like, how do you know that when you clean,
Mhm.
you're not getting mold all over my apartment,
Oh.
right? Because
Good
Good question. Good question.
we work with a lot of mold inspectors and mold
Right.
remediators. The mold remediators don't have the machines to clean the vents, and we don't do mold inspection. So I always say, I am not telling you whether there's mold in there or not. Once a mold inspector tells you that
Mhm.
it's there, we'll come and do the cleaning. We have these boxes that we put once the register is open.
Mhm.
We
Right.
put a box over it, and then we put a vacuum hose through it so it contains the entire
Wow.
area. So when we're done cleaning, after covering everything in the apartment as well, obviously, to prevent any issues, that stays contained. We clean it up, and then once we detach it, we close it back up. But there is no mold particles or dirt particles going all over the apartment.
And
That's
everything is
just-
specialized, just like as an example,
Right.
if you need to close up all the other vents, you can pull a vacuum on the whole
Mhm.
unit. We use a special cling tape. It's extremely
There you go.
industrial strength cling tape, but it's specially designed just for
Mhm.
vents,
Just for-
so that it can pull. You can.
Interesting.
I mean, seriously, if the RMs out there are not as impressed as I am right now, I'm like, yeah, you stick a hose through there. Yeah,
Yeah,
gets it
right.
out. Da, 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 da. No.
In the
No.
service industry, you realize you got to
This-
specialize.
Sure.
This is what it means to be
Mhm.
cleaned.
100%.
Thank you.
Awesome.
So Frank,
Yes.
I always wanted to say, right now you've been in business for
7 years.
7 years. Where do we see VentRight in 5 years, in 10 years? Where do we see we going? Come on.
So I would love to have about 10 trucks, at a minimum. And I personally would love to be working on the business development more than I am
Okay.
in the business. I love working in the business, but I think working on the business will take it to next levels. And we
Good.
really hope to roll out more and more services. We're not looking to
We
stay
love-
and do what we're doing.
Yeah, right.
We love building systems that can withstand the test of time. Everything we do, sometimes
Yeah.
it takes a little bit long to get there for the reason that we go look at it at every single angle. We build a system that is amazingly customer service centric.
Yes.
It gives a phenomenal experience from start to finish, and there's no
Yes.
holes in it, so no one can fall through the hole,
Right.
and it'll be left with someone who wasn't taken care of the right way. So before we roll anything out, we literally, we test it ad nauseum until there's nothing else to test about it,
Yeah.
and we go over and over and over. Like, okay, now this protocol, this system, with this
Mhm.
product, with this service, with this piece of equipment, with
Right.
this
You can
policy,
roll
with
it
this
out.
procedure, we can roll it out confidently, knowing that our customers are going to have an awesome experience. We'd love to roll out a few new services that
Okay.
we would love to one day get into
Hmm.
kitchen hoods. But again, it's going to take us a little bit of time. We're going to scale up to all the things that we're currently doing. Preventative maintenance packages are something we'd like to expand on. It's so underutilized. Most people don't know that they need it. When I say most, there's plenty of great property managers out there who do know,
Mhm.
and there's so many people that just don't know. It's not on their radar. So
Yeah.
preventative maintenance packages is something we'd love to expand our scope on.
We're working on offering, together with the duct cleaning,
Mhm.
either quarterly, biannual, or annual belt and drain pan
Nice.
cleaning and and filter
Sure,
change.
sure.
So the goal is to take a headache off of you guys, because you guys have a lot of work.
I like
So-
her.
It's true that is our goal. One less headache should be our motto. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. You really want to clean his kitchen hood?
Not his.
I know. So,
Just get a
ladies and
So,
gentlemen,
I have a brand new
ladies,
kitchen. I'm good.
you know what?
I have a brand new kitchen. I'm good.
That was 2 years ago.
Still new.
He hasn't used it. No.
Yeah, I mean, wait.
He's eating in your house. Have you not noticed?
I thought so.
Well,
Bring back the silverware. So it's what? You know what time's for, Frank?
it's your question time.
No, yeah, exactly. It's not
Right.
the fuff time.
No, it's your question time. The one that everybody holds
Okay.
their breath for and waits for this question to be answered. Now, please, people, understand that Frank has a wonderful record of 89 to 2.
Cheater! Excuse me.
And we have one tie. We have one tie.
Well, no, you may have one tie. I got a hell of a lot more, really.
So
So anyway,
here we go. Those Mickey
Tell
Mouse
us.
and Donald Duck ties don't count. We
the
skipped over the-
WTF
No,
moment.
he did it again.
What?
The question. This one.
Uh,
See, senility.
Yes, it
That's
does.
what happens when you reach age 70.
Here's a great question for you.
Yeah.
Okay. And not that I made it up, but if Frank, oh boy, you're really gonna get me on this one. I think you won.
I know. I won. I know.
I know. I didn't think about that.
I know you did.
All right. If
I read it. You didn't.
Frank or Bo were stuck in a shoe, who would be harder to get out?
There you go.
I think Ohavia has to answer that. I will. I want to stay friends with both
I'm
of
gonna need a
them,
little
but
bit
I
more
want-
information. Who sweats more?
I do.
He sweats more.
Yep.
Well, if you're willing to take off your clothing, I can probably get you out faster.
Hey, if I could take off my clothing, I wouldn't be in there.
That's my answer. That's what I'm legally allowed to give. If I was allowed to
There
give that
you
one.
go. I won.
Let me further that. How much suction would it take to get him? But
Yeah.
right, now you can go to the.
I
Now you go
really
to-
didn't think that one out.
But he managed to get out.
Somehow I did. I don't know.
Yeah.
But this is the other one that people wait for because
Yes.
this is your experience.
Yep.
It's time for the WTF moment.
But
The what the
Frank moment.
Yes, it's any moment, incident, anything in your life, work, anything is at any time. Just makes you go like, what the Frank?
Yep.
Did that really happen?
Mhm.
Have you
Absolutely.
had those moments?
Yeah.
I think we could write a book about
We
it.
All right, we're ready
could
to
and we should. You want to go first or you want me to go first?
Well, I could tell you about that one time we had a dryer vent cleaning in Williamsburg.
That was 7 years ago. I know what you're talking about. It was literally right at the beginning.
Besides that, it took 2 hours to park because it was in Williamsburg. The customer told me, "Oh, I used someone else, but it's still not working. Can you come check it out?" And I said, "No problem." There was a rod from someone else stuck in the vent, 6 feet in, just there. And I'm like, "What? What do you want me to do with that?" So we had to try to fish it out. We have this like
Wow.
special
Uh-huh.
thing that you attach on the hose to try to grasp whatever is
Right.
stuck in the vent. We tried. It only made it 2 feet back.
Oh,
You know,
my
we were
God.
there for like 5 hours.
Wow.
And we were there for a very long time. And then I told them, next time, just call us. Don't call the other person because it took us 2 days to fix it.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
didn't want to pay for the 2 days of labor
Oh no!
because they already paid for that.
Right,
bill
right.
with the other
Why
guy.
should I pay it? There you go.
But the other company was cheaper, so they went with them originally.
Yeah.
So they obviously saved
Yeah.
no money.
No money.
Unbelievable.
So there was a great one. We had a woman. This was a little bit early on. We did not understand how badly the code was followed, or how much people did not even know the code. And this woman called from an apartment building, and she said, "I'd like to get my vent cleaned." We called, which is our policy. We called the super and said, "Would you like us to clean all the vents? Because it can save you a bundle." A lot of times, a resident will call. We have to go down for one job versus doing the entire building. It's thousands of dollars of savings if we do the whole building. Our guys are there the whole day. They can knock out 12 or 15 apartments depending on how complicated it is. And this property manager was like, "No, we don't need it, and it's fine. We take care of it." We're like, "Okay, whatever." We got another call from that building a few weeks later, and we're like, "I don't know." They don't. Finally, this one woman is like, "I'm paying you. You come down. Don't talk to the property manager. I don't care. Just come clean my vent. The thing doesn't work. It smells. Something's wrong. I don't know what's going on." We go there. They have a stackable, of course. We have a special lifter, specialized equipment, so it slides out nicely. And we start cleaning. our technician starts cutting the shaft, and he couldn't get the compressor there, so we had to use rods. He puts in 1 rod, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, and each rod's 3 feet. And he's like, wow, there's no resistance. And it just keeps going up. Maybe it goes to the ceiling. It's like a 10-story. It goes up to the roof. It's like 10 stories. Like, it doesn't make sense. Usually, it would go out. There's an exterior wall not so far away. He was assuming that there was an exterior wall, and it just kept going. Finally, he takes out all the rods. He puts the camera in, and he takes a great video. So what's inside the video? We see that every single apartment is venting into the wall cavity. No firewall anywhere to be seen. It's filled with lint top to bottom. Yep. If one person caught fire, every unit would have burned down. Oof. It would have. It's tinder. It's just
years and years of that.
Yeah. So that's when we realized that that most property managers on these older buildings may not have any clue what's going on. They don't even recognize. We once encountered a run in a building in the Bronx, and we only encountered it because this was earlier on. Our rod got stuck. We could not get a hose down in there because it was just way too high up. So we were cleaning it with rods, and it felt like the weirdest resistance. He's never felt it before. He's trying to get through, pulls it out. He's like, I don't know. It's just not going far enough down. It's only about 15, 20 feet to the tenant's apartment. It shouldn't be that far. And he's trying, and eventually he hears a snap, which is the worst sound any dryer vent technician wants to have. There's a rod stuck. Okay, it's happened before. Not the end of the world. I'm going to fast forward. This unit in the Bronx had 4 double elbows. So it had like a double elbow, went like this. It went in, another double elbow, all that totally illegal. Right. And then it went down and around the person's entire apartment to get into the dryer vent. So it was like 60 feet of a run. We could not get our rod back. We tried and tried for 3 days to get it back. We eventually had to call, because we had to, right? It's a complex building. The place where the rod was stuck was right behind the boiler room. So it was fantastic. So we had to pay to cut the wall open and to retrieve the rod. And while we were there, we fixed 2 holes that were in the run that were not from us, from another company that clearly had tried to do this with a different tool. And we told them, I'm really sorry. We can only clean this gently from either side until they put up the code, which they never will.
Of course not.
That's that.
Wow.
So
amazing.
Ohavia, Rivka, it was our pleasure to have you here.
Absolutely.
A lot of fun. We should do this.
We learned. I swear to God, this is so nice. And
we always learn.
From now on, we're always learning.
We're always learning.
And whenever you roll out the next phase of your services, Frank will always get a free colonoscopy.
Absolutely.
It's what I do for you.
No, I know. You take care of it.
We're going to get you a punch card. It's going to be good.
5th one free. So,
wow.
Thank you very much for being here, putting up with us. Now, tell me where the people out there, where the RMs, the PMs, and the GMs, and all the other
and all the LMs.
Yeah. Where can they reach you?
So they could call our office at 516-430-5503, extension 1, or they could go to our website at goventright.com. There is a contact us form. Put your name and your phone number, and we get back to you within a half hour usually.
There's an instant booking form if you want something that's a little bit simpler, residential. If you click that form, I know myself personally, when you click a form, you kind of wonder where the hell it goes. Like, did it go to a place that's actually going to answer?
Right.
Is it in cyber hell? We actually are so Johnny on the spot. We have 4 or 5 team members that are always monitoring the inbox. Our customers and our property managers are the most important people to us, literally.
And come to meetings, and you get to hang out with me, drink with me. So
it's true.
Oh boy.
And when I'm drunk, I don't yell so much. So
she does. So, thank you so much. We got to cut that out.
When I'm drunk.
Oh my God. So, Frank, let's take us away, my friend.
Absolutely. So you know where you can find us, right? You go on to our website, which is www.buildingtalknyc.com. That is our website. Check it out. Go on, blog a little bit, give us some comments. Any questions you have. This is a great show that you can have some questions, and I'm sure we can always pass it along and they will answer. So that's very, very, very important. Of course, we're on Apple. We're on Spotify. We're on iHeartRadio. We're also on YouTube, so check us out every Tuesday. You know, he does his LinkedIn stuff. He's doing the hard thing.
No, wait. No, how the hell did you do that again?
That's it.
That's
Close.
it.
That was close.
Oh, that's the worst part of this.
It's all right. Well, you know.
It's his.
Yeah, it's his heart. But
Probably is.
That one needs
check
to
us out
stay
on
intact.
YouTube. He does his LinkedIn thing, and then I just jump on, and then we do it, and we run it out. So, but again, listen, these shows are so important because if him and I, who are dinosaurs in this industry, learn from every single show,
Yeah,
I am sure that you guys get value beyond.
please.
So please keep listening to us. Subscribe, hit like, the whole bit. You know how it is.
And thank you for listening, and
Yes.
thank you for subscribing. And just, you know what? It's always good listening.
Later.